Hey, episode 28, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, it's video number 2 of my 4 video division predictions. Now I'm focusing on the Central. Yeah, I didn't stay in the conference, but that's okay. I don't have to. So if you want to check out my predictions from last season, there's a link in the description below. If you don't want to check out the video, here's how it looked last year as far as what I predicted. Come on, focus. I picked Winnipeg to win the Presidents last year. That didn't work out so well. Here's how it looked. So all told, last season I went 2 for 7, which isn't bad, but it's definitely not great. But again, as I mentioned in my Atlantic Division predictions, my predictions last year didn't mean nothing. There was just way too much parity, and yeah, it ended up kicking me in the butt. But here's hoping I can redeem myself this season, because as I mentioned, there was once upon a time when my division predictions were actually pretty good. So, having said that, let's go in reverse. Of course I'm picking Minnesota last. Why not? They're a mess. They fired the wrong guy, in my mind. And the only reason I say that is because I've followed Boudreau enough to know that he's good for the first couple seasons, and then he starts to trail off. And a lot of guys would love to say, hey, it's not the coach, it's the players. I think in this case, it is the coach. But who knows where Boudreau will be at the end of this season, if he'll even still be in Minnesota by that time. I'm actually picking them to finish dead last in the whole league. So, having said all that, I don't think there's really much good I can say about Minnesota. They got to figure out what's going on with Zucker. They got to figure out what's going on with Parise and Suter, because let's not hide behind the bush here. Those two guys are bringing them down hard. They're not worth the contracts they're signed to. They're not worth the money they're getting paid, and they're definitely not improving the team at all. But that's okay. Maybe in a couple years, Minnesota will be good again. And I'm sure here's where the experts are saying, hey, no, you're out of your mind. And I might be. But I think Winnipeg has too many questions right now. And this is not counting for future events. Connor will get signed. Laine is your biggest question mark. Byfuglien right now is your biggest question mark. I mean, if he retires, then what? How do you fill that hole? Byfuglien is going to be a presence missed so very much. And if they can't find a way to fix that hole, that problem, they're in a lot of trouble. Goaltending is not an issue. Secondary scoring is not an issue. But the Central is such a tough division. If they can't keep up, they're going to fall out. Picking Chicago 5th. And it's not because they suck. They don't suck. Not even close. They got lots of good guys coming up in the system. The problem is they're relying on getting back some of the older guys that they won cups with. The problem is goaltending. Sure, getting Lainer is a good decision. But where's Crawford's head in all this? How healthy can Crawford stay? The last couple seasons have not been good for Crawford, which in turn have not been good for the Blackhawks. So the biggest question mark for Chicago still has to be goaltending. Kane Taves, they'll be fine. They're still good for years. And they'll stay that way for a couple more years. But outside that, if you're not giving your guys enough time to develop, if you're not getting the right guys to come in and develop, nothing against DeBrincat. DeBrincat's going to be a stud for those guys. But they just have to get off the old formula and go with what's working now, which is not what they have in mind. Wildcard spot, going to Dallas. Now, I initially wanted to write them off. I really did, but then I failed to consider Ben Bishop. Bishop's a monster, and he's going to be a really good monster for Dallas. Bringing in Pavelski. is good as far as having an extra team leader in there. Because, I mean, well, nothing against Jamie Benn. He's a great captain, but he's no Pavelski. I mean, Pavelski has at least a cup run under his belt to go along with Sagan, who has a cup, to go along with Bishop, who has a cup run. They have all the tools to make a good cup run. If that happens, great. I'm not predicting playoffs right now, outside the fact that they're going to get the wild card spot. But they'll be a fun team to watch, regardless of what happens. I picked St. Louis to go third in their division last season, and that's not changing. They're going to finish third again. I don't think they'll go the calendar year dead last to go up and win the cup again. I'm not even going to predict them to win the cup right now. But they proved to a lot of people that they are no joke. They do mean business, and they are going to be a contending force for playoffs, if not more cups in the future. Having a guy like Craig Berube full-time behind the bench was smart, and he'll be their coach for a very, very, very long time. I guarantee you that. Outside that, though, they've got good scoring in first and second lines. They got a good, solid six-man defensive tag team unit. The future is bright in St. Louis, and it's going to be really good year for them. Number 2. Yeah, Nashville, number 2. And it's not because they added Matt Duchene. It's because they got rid of PK Subban. Sure, they got nothing much back for him. They don't need much back for him. They got enough guys coming up from the farm. They got Rene and Ned. I mean, yeah, Rene's getting older, but they got Saros as a backup. And Saros is going to be the man for a long time in Nashville. But on top of that, yeah, having Duchene to go along with Turris, to go along with Johansson, it's going to be fun in Nashville. And I mean, I would even go so far as to say they'll make a deep playoff run. Whether or not that happens, that's subjective, as it always is. But Nashville's going to be a fun team to watch. Maybe, just maybe, their championship window isn't closed just yet. I'm picking them to win the Western Conference. Not playoff-wise, regular season-wise. So probably second overall in the league. That McKinnon kid, he's going to be the reason they're half as good as they're going to be. With Landeskog, with Rantanen, yeah, Rantanen's not signed right now, but again, it's a case of when, not if. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be a long-term deal. Get him on a bridge deal, get him playing with those two again. Oh, gold. Having Kadri in the lineup doesn't hurt either. I mean, hopefully he doesn't get himself suspended as much as he did, but it is Kadri. He can't really be predicted. Look for McKinnon to go over 100 points. I know I predicted him to go 100 points last season. This year he's going over that, I think. But either way, Colorado's winning the West, and I'm sticking to that. So that was my Central Division predictions, and ultimately that was episode 28 of Trev's Hockey Show. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your comments. Give me your predictions. Let me know if I'm out to lunch on this one. Let me know if I'm just closer to the mark than I was last year. Let me know what you think. Give me your predictions if you want to. Let's debate this. I'm all for a debate. But either way, if you like this video, give me that thumbs up. If you want to, there's that subscribe button. Help this channel get to 50 subs. Hit that thing. Stay up to date with all the content I'm putting out. If you want to, you can find Trev's Trade Page on Facebook at Trev's Trade Page. You can find the parent channel on Facebook at Trev's TV. You can find Trev on Instagram at RockstarTrevTV. And if you would help my other two channels get to 50 subs, there's pictures in the credits of what you're looking for. Feel free to give them a subscribe as well. Moving forward, we got 2 more of these division prediction videos to go. You'll probably see them tomorrow, Sunday at the latest. Beyond that, we'll get there when we get there. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.